Hey YouTube, how's it going? I wanted to bring you all the highlights from round number 2 of the Formula E Race at Home Challenge supporting UNICEF. This was the second race. Well, actually it was the third race, but the first one was a test, so it didn't count for points. So technically, this is race 2 in the championship. It was at a track called Leicester Special Edition. Nothing to do with Leicester, my hometown, but in fact Leicester in New Jersey. It was a kind of typical American street circuit, quite wide and open and quite bumpy. I'll be honest, I had quite a struggle at this track because it was so fast. Normally the Formula E tracks are very tight and twisty because they're in very confined, built up city centre areas. It's one of the whole points of Formula E. But this track is very, very fast, and so we actually got to have the aero working a lot more than you normally feel it on a slower, tighter city course. So much of this course is flat out. Something like 80% of the lap is full on acceleration. Initially I thought, well, it's probably going to be easier because there's fewer areas where you're going to be trying to make up time. You have to get a compromise between minimising your steering lock so you're not scrubbing off speed when you're understeering on the high speed corners, which means driving the car very smoothly using all of the track, taking big wide lines. But at the same time, you also have to get the rotation at high speed to turn the car into the corners. That does involve using some strategic lifts with the throttle. It's getting a balance between those two techniques to make it all work and bring it all together. I found I was actually learning things right up until the beginning of the race because I only just discovered on Saturday morning how to watch other people's onboard camera while they're lapping in the test server, which has been a massive bonus because suddenly I can see exactly where people are lifting, where they're braking, and gives a really good impression of actually what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong with the car. It's not very intuitive how you find this on the game, I'll be honest, and so it was a real breakthrough moment for me. I wish it had happened on Wednesday or something. As it was, it happened about 10 minutes before the start of the race, so I was literally trying to put in hot laps right up until the start. But anyway, I was really happy with my quali this week. I was within about half a second of my PB, which still isn't like as fast as I'd like to be, but ultimately I was much more chilled out. I think it put me something like 22nd on the grid for the start. That's kind of where I expected to be honest. I knew the gap into the midfield was just going to be too big right now. But nonetheless, it was a good race, and I want to talk you through what happened. I think because I had fairly low expectations this weekend, having struggled, I was quite chilled out. I didn't put myself under so much pressure. That definitely helped coming into quali, and coming into the race too, I managed to keep quite a cool head. It was just amazing to have so many people cheering on the live chat. So many people said to me afterwards, we were all willing you on, like loads of people texted me, and I think to have the full support of all the crowd and followers and fans and everyone right now, it really means a lot to me. So anyway, let's go take a look at the race and I'll talk you through what happened. Okay, so here we go folks, we're on the start line, and what you'll see is that the guy in front of me made a really bad start actually, so I nearly drove up the back of him and I managed to veer to one side. It's interesting, on this replay I don't actually drive with this view in the game, I have to drive in the slightly up view, and it looks like the steering's really jerky, but I think it's just the way the recording has been recorded. So anyway, coming into the first hairpin, everybody had a little bit of contact, but I think we all did amazingly well to get through this first chicane so cleanly. We were read the riot act a bit coming into this, so I know the whole team at Formula E just really wanted us to drive cleanly through that chicane, and everybody did a fantastic job. So anyway, here we are weaving through the first set of corners, very high speed set of chicanes, and I'm just trying to, yeah, at this point, you know, we've all got cold tyres, so it's quite difficult trying to practice how the car is going to handle at this point in time. It takes a good lap to to get the heat in the tyres and in the brakes too, so you can drive it like you would in a normal kind of race lap. So yeah, a bit of a slide there. I lost a little bit of time on this guy in front of me, and through this section here, it's really tricky. You've got to have a bit of a lift here and then try and get back on the power as soon as you can to maximise the speed round through this fast section, because now it's flat all the way down to the final corner that brings you onto the start finish straight. So this guy up ahead having a bit of a spin, I think that was Jacob Reed, and so yeah, I made up a position there. I think at this point I'm running in 18th or 17th maybe, I can't remember, but anyway, it was pretty hard. I was like, yeah, good first lap, solid. So let's crack on, and yeah, just keep it keep it going. So coming in here, normally I brake just before the 50, and it's quite tricky when you're following someone to get through the chicane cleanly because you don't see the full entry and exit points when you're following somebody quite closely. So I got a bit of a bad line through here, and yeah, nerfed the wall. Jacob Reed trying to get through. Nearly got past this guy in the cheetah, but yeah, just ended up stuck behind him a bit, and I think a few times I come up quite close, but I just couldn't quite get past him. He's just nerfing the wall there. Again, this chicane here, it's important to try and not hit the curbs. So yeah, you see I got the speed coming out of the corner, but I just didn't have the room to get past, and now Jacob Reed is coming up behind me. I can see him looming pretty fast in my mirrors, and so I'm kind of fighting a battle on two fronts at this point, and it's really tricky. Yeah, got a slide on there. Actually, maybe he tapped me, I'm not sure, but anyway. And I can see down here he's going to probably make a move at this corner, and so I think he comes through on the inside, and I kind of let him come through. I thought I'm going to go for the cutback. So I come in, take a nice wide line, and I thought I was going to get past him, but literally I'm glued to his bumper here, and this is where it all started to go wrong because I was coming into the chicane again, trying to get a look on the chicane so I could see where my turning is going to be. Cut back in, but then I just missed it, and big impact. Now at this point, that guy nearly totally hit me again, and I'm thinking, well, the car's just totaled. But I carried on driving, and I thought, well, let's just see. And miraculously, the car was actually okay, apart from the fact it had chronic oversteer whenever I turned left. So it probably would have been quite good in an IndyCar race around an oval, but I managed to nurse it along for a lot of laps. Now, I'm not going to show you every single lap of what happened now. I think you can see coming around this corner, I'm like, big oversteer moment. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, the car doesn't like turning left. Or it does, but it's just very eager. So at this point onwards, I'm just trying to be really careful through the lefts and just trying to manage the oversteer. Rights, not quite so bad. But what happened was that I drove quite a few laps, I think, before the elimination started. Now I'm going to fast forward because what actually happened here was really quite funny. Like, I was just about to be eliminated in 20th place, and the guy now was like, Charlie, you're eliminated. I drove past this guy, I think it was Axel Laflamme, at which point I went into 19th place. And then the guy comes through and goes, actually scratch that, Charlie, carry on, you're okay. And my foot was literally lifting off the throttle at this point, but I just carried on. And then from this point onwards, I think people just kept crashing up ahead of me and getting taken out, and it was just pushing me further and further up the ranking, and at which point I got up to something like 15th place. So I was a long way off the leaders, and yeah, you know, I was just struggling around, kind of trying to nurse my car, having my own race. But to be honest, I was absolutely stoked to be in 15th, knowing what a difficult time I'd had with this course. I never thought I'd be in 15th place, so it's a great result, and obviously a few places higher than the 18th I got in round one. So I'm really made up with how this race went. So it was a really great result, and I'm excited about coming to Monaco again this weekend because our first race was at Monaco. It's meant that I don't have to learn a whole new track this week. Admittedly, I've still spent something like 2 or 3 hours a day practicing on the sim, trying to improve my times. There's a bit of a rumour going around that they might even throw some rain at us on Saturday, but we shall see. I think whatever happens, it's going to be an exciting race, and I'm going to be trying hard to improve on 15th. So please tune in, folks. Remember, you can see the whole race live on Formula E's YouTube channel, or also on Twitch, Twitter or Facebook. Go tune in, wish me luck at Monaco, and I will be updating you all next Wednesday. So please give this video a like, please comment in the box, remember to subscribe, and tune in next Wednesday at 8 AM, and stay safe, folks, and take care. See you then. Bye-bye. Lucky for once you just sat behind my computer and you didn't bother me. You're just being very cute today, like a little seal.